Hey guys, it's Rob from Long Island Outdoorsman. Over the years, wild ducks from our area, Long Island, New York, that have been on the salt marsh, have gotten a bad reputation for being gamey and a challenge to cook. So over the years, I've tried different ways, and about a year or two ago, I stumbled upon a steak au poivre recipe, which is basically like a cream flavored with some sort of alcohol, whether it be cognac or sherry, and flavored also with green peppercorns. And I found that recipe to be the best. It really seems to help with the overpowering gamey taste on the ducks, and it's delicious actually. But I take it a little bit of a step further, and what I'll do is well, I'll show you. So first we're going to start where we're going to pluck the duck, partially expose the breast. You could pluck the whole thing and roast it, but I found that, you know, it just takes so long. I just rather deal with the cutlets. As you can see here, I already have a couple prepared, but I'll show you how I pluck them. So basically just pinch and grab. Expose the skin. If you wanted to, you can leave the skin on and cook them with the skin. I've done that too, but to be honest, tonight I'm not in the mood. I want to do this quickly. I'm just gonna do a skinless duck breast. So for what we're doing, that's all you have to do as far as the pluck. Take a sharp knife, work down the breastbone, go through the skin. Thumb under the skin, and skin the bird. Working your fingers all the way around. You want to do a close up? You're going to go around the breastbone. I like doing it with a fillet knife. Could work around the bones. What's up, little mama? I'm doing a video right now. Okay. Take off any feathers and put it in some cold water to soak, and that'll draw some of the blood out. You can do the same thing on the other side. You see, that didn't really take that long. So depending on when this bird migrated to your area and what it's been feeding on, and you may have a lot of thick skin on the bird, sometimes a thin skin on the bird. This one's pretty thin. There's not really a lot going on with the skin on this one, so I'm kind of glad that I decided not to save the skin. But sometimes they have a nice thick layer of skin that'll crisp up pretty well. Add a little extra fat and flavor to the dish, so if you want to save the skin, you can. There we go. That's it. Clean off some of the feathers. And it goes in cold water. Alright, so basically, this is step one. Going to kind of help them out a little bit. Some of these bloody spots, throw it out. Any of these clots, get it nice and clean. Let this soak for, I don't know, maybe about a half hour or so. And then what I'm going to do is drain them, pat them dry. And we're going to soak them in buttermilk for 24 hours. After we're done with that, we'll rinse them. And then we start our marinade. It could be any marinade that you like. But I've found that, you know, stuff that I normally have in my kitchen works well, and I don't have to do any extra shopping. And that would be like garlic, onion, parsley, a little bit of olive oil. If you want, you could put salt and pepper in there. I skipped the salt and pepper for this particular recipe because I'm going to put it in the sauce. So yeah, so we'll do a part 2 on this after he's done soaking, and I'll show you step by step on how to do it. Thanks. All right, guys, so you can see now, these have been soaking for about 20 minutes. The colors changed a little bit. They've gone from like a really, really dark red to a, I don't know, lighter purplish color. At this point now, most of the blood has been drawn out. They're pretty clean. Throw them in a Ziploc. Get your buttermilk in there. Around. All I have to do is squeeze the air out of it. And in the refrigerator it goes, 24 hours. Tomorrow we'll start marinating. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, so our black duck breasts have been marinating in buttermilk for 24 hours. So I rinsed them off, and now I have just a very basic ingredients list here. Like I mentioned in the previous part, we got onion, garlic, parsley, and olive oil. Just gonna put everything in a Ziploc bag. And this is gonna marinate again for 24 hours. Go pretty heavy with the onion, garlic, and parsley. Again, these birds have a strong flavor to them, so the more you put, the better. Close up the bag. If I could figure out how to close the bag, there we go. Pick it up real good. I let this sit in the fridge, like I said, 24 hours. And tomorrow night when I get home from work, those will be ready to cook. And I'll show you how we do the aqua recipe, which again is the green peppercorn sauce with heavy cream, and we're going to use sherry. All right, guys, thank you. Okay, guys, this is the last part of the recipe, I guess part 3, right? Day 1 we did the buttermilk. Day 2 we did the marinade with the garlic, the onion, the parsley, and the olive oil. Now it's day 3. So here we have our duck breasts. I shook off most of the marinade. I didn't rinse them. I left most of the marinade, or some of the marinade, on there. We got a little bit of garlic, onion, and parsley still stuck to the sides of the meat, which will enhance the flavor as we're cooking. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sprinkle with a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, and now we have our pan already started. We're going to add some oil to the pan, and we're going to brown on both sides. We want to try to get to a medium rare, so we're not going to cook it very long. I'm on, I would say, medium-low heat right now. We're just going to brown on both sides. It's probably even maybe a touch too high. I'm going to lower the heat a little bit. And we'll do a little movie magic. Basically, I'm going to brown these on both sides. And then I'm going to pull them off, let them rest for a few minutes, and then we're going to do the sauce. You can see I just flipped them, and they're starting to get nice and browned. We're doing the other side. And it's a quick sear, basically. And they'll finish cooking a little bit in the sauce. We're going to kind of baste it in the sauce. In fact, once I get a little bit more of a sear on here, we're going to throw in some butter and kind of baste it in the butter. And yeah, so I'll let you know when it's time for that. So we're pretty much browned on both sides at this point. Going to throw in a little butter. And once that melts down, we're going to turn the breast in the butter and kind of baste it. So we should actually start that right now. Hey Lou, check this out. Show you how I'm doing this. doing a little recording. So these are pretty much done at this point. I'm gonna pull these in about, I don't know, a few seconds, continuing to baste for maybe another 10 seconds or so. And then we're gonna take it to the next step. Thanks. All right guys, so we have our seared breasts that were basted in the butter. Those are gonna be pulled to the side and they're gonna rest for a few minutes. We're gonna throw in the rest of our butter. Go to like medium low. And we're gonna cook up these onions. You could use shallots if you'd like. I never seem to have shallots in my house, so I always seem to just substitute them for onions. And it works fine. Stir that around a little bit. And we're just gonna get the onions soft. We're gonna try not to brown them. Right, while that's going, we're gonna throw in our green peppercorns, which I crushed with the back of my knife. You can see they're kind of like crushed up there. Did that against the cutting board. Sometimes hard to find, but if you go to like a specialty gourmet supermarket, they do have them. They look kind of like capers. They're in a brine in a little jar, and kind of makes the whole thing come together. Hence the peppercorn sauce, right? All right, so we're gonna just let that cook down. I keep stirring it. Hopefully they won't brown, and they'll just kind of stay soft. Of course, you must drink wine while we cook. Nice. All right, so that's looking pretty good. What I'm gonna do now is add the cognac. Actually, most recipes call for cognac. I like sherry. Okay, this is a dry sherry, and I just like the way that the flavor is on this. If you don't like the house on fire, no, it's pretty good. So we're gonna let that alcohol burn off. Nice. You don't want too much of it to cook off because then it's just gonna all evaporate. So I kind of do like a smell test when it isn't so strong of an alcohol smell. I kind of know it's done. So we're just gonna let that cook for a minute. And yeah, once that's cooked down, we're gonna add in our cream, and then we'll put the duck breasts back in and let them continue to cook in the sauce. As it reduces and thickens up, we're going to season it with some dried herbs, some Italian seasoning. Yeah, we're getting close to the end here. All right, that's smelling pretty good. Let's throw in our cream. That's probably just about enough right there. Around. Put the duck breasts back in. Now these are pretty rare at this point, so they're just gonna finish off now in the sauce. And what I'll do is I'll just keep flipping them. A little bit of Italian herb in there. Most of the peppercorn sauce or steak au pois, whatever you want to call it, recipes call for thyme. But I didn't have thyme, so we're just using Italian seasoning, which has thyme in it, oregano, basil, whatever. It's going to taste great. When I cook, I don't like to always follow a recipe exact. I like to experiment a little bit. A little kitchen thrift goes a long way. Use what I got. That's kind of how we started here anyway. I had some duck breasts sitting around. We're in the middle of duck season right now. Right now we're cooking American black duck. It's our primary duck in our area. This is how I'm rolling. This recipe that I've been doing has been working. It's been pretty successful, and going from what many people would call a gamey meat to something that's outright delicious. Right? Also, if you come in over here, you'll see I already have a polenta started. We're gonna actually start the plate. So we're getting close to the end here. So you can see we got a nice polenta going. Give these one more rotation. That sauce getting pretty thick. I would say this is just about done. What we're gonna do now is pull the meat. Gonna let this rest for, I don't know, a couple minutes. Not too long, because you don't want this duck to get cold. You want to serve it hot. It's going to really be much better that way. So I'm just going to let it rest for a couple minutes, and this way the juice doesn't just run out when I slice it. And then we'll do a slice and we'll pour the sauce over the top and show you what the finished product looks like. Just give us a minute. Alright guys, so before I put the meat on the plate, we're going to sprinkle a little Parmesan Reggiano on top of the polenta. Why not? Can't go wrong. Got my grandfather's slicer. Rest in peace, Grandpa Greco. See the slice? See that that's perfectly medium rare, right about there. That's what you want. Like I said, guys, it's just basically a quick sear, and then you kind of cook it in the sauce just a little bit, just to kind of finish it up. Okay. Yeah, remove that out of the way. I want to clutter up the screen. Now the finale. We have this beautiful thickened sauce with the sherry wine and the cream, the onions. Here, how do you want me to move my arm?
Yeah, I like
How's that? Is that
Yeah,
working?
Good.
How's that? Give it a taste test. A little bit of that polenta with the cheese on it. Nice piece. Delicious. We went from a quote-unquote gamey saltwater black duck to something absolutely delicious you can serve to anybody. Okay?